Live, the news you count on. NBC2 News at 11.
Good evening, and thank you so much for watching NBC2 here at 11 o'clock. I'm Elise Chingari. I want to first start off by saying thank you for tuning in tonight. I know that many of you are still cleaning up after Hurricane Milton. I hope that you are doing the best that you can. Some of you are without power, again, cleaning your homes just around the clock the last few days. So again, thank you for tuning in here tonight. Now, with that being said, we know that North Manasota Key has reopened for the first time since Hurricane Milton. So we want to send things over to NBC2's Mohammed Abdul-Qawi, who is in Manasota Key right now. And Mohammed, what are you seeing there, and what are neighbors telling you?
Well, Elise, I can tell you this, that it is quiet right now. There is a curfew in effect, full effect right now. But another thing we're seeing is there's no power, meaning that there's no street lights on, meaning it's hard to see stuff. But if you take a look right here at my feet, you can see the amount of
Everybody needs help, not just a few people, but, you know, a lot of people.
As soon as Charlotte County officials reopened the north end of the Manasota Key, Kay Fish rushed to see if her home on Gulfville Street was okay.
Well, we need somewhere to live.
Her home's walls collapsed, showing the Gulf. Her floors now covered in a layer of sand. Outside was a living nightmare as well.
Well, I mean, it's such a devastation. I mean, even with the pictures, you don't, I mean, it looks totally worse than the pictures even show.
A few miles away, we came across Florine Kirsch, who was checking on her friend's condo. She doesn't know how many more hurricanes people here can take.
There's risk here, and now our insurance is going to go up probably because, you know, all this devastation in the last few years. We've had 3 hurricanes this year. That's just too many.
Others like Kay doesn't plan on losing hope. She wants to keep moving forward.
I feel closer to my son here, and this is where we're going to rebuild if they allow us to.
And in time, she looks forward to this island returning to what it's meant to be, a beachfront paradise.
I think Inglewood is strong, and I think people are going to come together and do what it takes to get this community back on its feet again.
We want to remind you that there are areas that have a curfew in effect, so that includes Manasota Key. It's from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Deputies are all there on the island. Our reporter and photographer told us there that they are keeping an eye out for looters that could be violating that curfew. It will result in arrest and misdemeanor charges, so be aware of those curfews that are still in place. Now, according to reports, the death toll for Hurricane Milton is at least 17, and Governor Ron DeSantis says the state is anticipating more deaths as recovery efforts are still ongoing. We do want to get to some breaking news right now before we get back to all of the effects from Hurricane Milton. So right now we know that one person was injured and taken to the hospital after a car crashed into an ambulance. It happened right here at the intersection of Metro Parkway and 6 Mile Cypress. No one in the ambulance was hurt, but the driver of that vehicle was taken to Gulf Coast Medical Center. The scene is clear at this time. So when it comes to schools, I'm sure many of you parents and guardians want to know when the kids will be back. So Lee and Charlotte County schools plan to reopen their doors for staff and students this upcoming week. For Lee County, the district says 91% of Lee County campuses have power, and Lee County schools are set to reopen on Monday. The district is planning a temporary relocation plan for Fort Myers Beach Elementary and Sanibel schools. In Charlotte County, the district plans to reopen to students on Tuesday. Charlotte County put out a news release that the access to Gasparilla Island has been reopened, but the access to the bridgeless barrier islands in South Manasota Key remain closed. For more information, you can head to our website, nbc-2.com. The city of Sanibel is arranging a debris pickup set to start this Wednesday for residents there on Sanibel. Residents, you are urged to separate the debris by these that you see right here on your screen. So vegetative debris, so trees and other leafy materials, construction and demolition debris, which is building damages or other structural items, then appliances, so refrigerators, heat pumps, electronic waste like computers or TVs, and lastly, household hazardous materials that are reactive or toxic. And we're talking more about those curfews. So a curfew remains in place on Sanibel Island from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. This remains until further notice. The city of Sanibel wants to remind you to limit travel throughout the island as much as possible as those crews are cleaning up all of the debris still. And you might see some delays on state roads throughout Lee County while FDOT crews are removing all of that debris. So if you plan on using these roads that you see listed here, which include San Carlos Boulevard and McGregor Boulevard, very busy areas here in Lee County, you need to watch out for traffic while crews are out cleaning those roads. The town of Fort Myers Beach is now open to you, the public, but the curfew is still in effect from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. You're actually getting a live look right now at what the island looks like. Now, if you do have an emergency, you need to contact the Lee County Sheriff's Office. And keeping it there on Fort Myers Beach, the town hall is closed on Monday. Town hall plans to reopen on Tuesday. If you have any questions, you can jot down that number there on your screen. It is 239-765-0202 if you have any questions for the town of Fort Myers Beach. Lee County personnel is out on Fort Myers Beach today. The personnel spoke with residents about United Way, debris pickup, and the permitting process there on the town after Hurricane Milton. And Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District says FPL is continuing to work on restoring power to the town. I know many of you want to know when you'll have power. They want to remind you to please turn off any circuits or breakers in your home or business that feed any damaged equipment, outside equipment, or any other equipment that may have been exposed to any of that storm surge. They also want you to have a Florida licensed electrician take a look at your electrical system before re-energizing any circuits that may have been damaged. So keep an eye out for that. Well, good news for Cape Coral residents. Trash pickup will resume in Cape Coral coming up on Monday. There will be no recycling collection, bulk waste, or horticulture next week. Only regular garbage will be collected. And then debris removal will begin the week of October 21st. Residential drop-off sites for debris are expected to open early next week. You can count on us here at NBC2 to keep you updated on those dates and locations as soon as we get that information from Cape Coral. And the city of Cape Coral has free laundry facilities open, so take a good look here. So they are self-service and available at Jim Jeffers Park for residents who still have no power. Make sure you bring your own detergent and supplies. Water stations and toilets are also open there from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Well, as Hurricane Milton worked through the west coast of Florida, many are still left, as we know, with the obvious damages to their homes as well as their businesses. NBC2's Kennedy Mason is in Fort Myers speaking with organizations who, as you can see right here, they're making all the difference.
For many Southwest Florida organizations, helping those in need after Hurricane Milton is about sharing love in the community and making a difference.
People come to Fort Myers in this area, Lee County and Southwest Florida, and they experience a love that you don't normally find.
Harry Chapin Food Bank worked with World of Life Church in Fort Myers to provide people with essential items like water and non-perishable food items.
Well, you know, after a hurricane, we always see demand for food go up. People have, suffered in lots of ways.
Tornadoes touched down and damaged homes. Hurricane Milton brought storm surge, strong winds, and took away many people's electricity and water.
And the goal is to help people that are hurting. And as you can tell, there's so many people that are hurting in this hour.
Cars wrapped around the church Saturday morning as volunteers gave out tarps to those with roof damage and baby formula to parents in need.
So this community has always just been a focus area for us. There's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of need, there's a lot of families with a lot of children. And so we worked with them closely after Hurricane Ian, and still some of these families are struggling since Ian. I mean, there's still tarps on roofs.
Better Together helps families that are isolated by listening to them and helping them. They also provided soap, food, water, and ice to many residents in the area without power, plus offering child care to families.
So we have volunteer host families that are vetted and background checked, and they will actually open up their home and care for children short term. Sometimes it can be as little as 24 hours or it could be a few weeks.
For Word of Life Church, the Harry Chapin Food Bank, and Better Together, it's all about recognizing people's needs and meeting them right where they are. I'm in Fort Myers, Kennedy Mason, NBC2.
Kennedy, thank you. Now, FEMA says if you applied for FEMA assistance after hurricanes Helene, Debbie, or previous storms, listen clearly, you must apply separately for assistance after Hurricane Milton. So be aware of this. So when you are applying for FEMA after multiple disasters, you'll need to describe this damage and what date it actually happened on. Make sure you keep all your receipts for expenses that are associated with each disaster. FEMA assistance does not cover losses from a previous disaster, but can help with new damage from Hurricane Milton. To apply, you can head to our website, nbc-2.com. President Joe Biden will be heading to Florida tomorrow to assess the damage caused by Hurricane Milton. The White House press release we received today states the president will go to Tampa before heading to St. Petersburg. Count on us here at NBC2 to keep you updated on the president's visit. Charlotte County gave out some tips to make sure residents are safe after a hurricane. The county says to steer clear of standing waters that can contain harmful bacteria. If you have any open wounds, stay away from floodwaters. Remember to remove shower heads for thorough cleaning. Be mindful to fallen branches and power lines. Inspect your home safely, so wear sturdy shoes, gloves while checking for any of that damage. Now, do not drive on closed roads and make sure to report any power lines that are down. In Punta Gorda, the Harbor Walk will be closed until further notice, along with other parks and recreational areas due to the damage from Hurricane Milton. So the other locations that are closed are listed right here on your screen. The city says they are working hard to assess the damage and ensure everyone's safety. Stay with us. You're watching NBC2. We'll have an update on your forecast coming up after the break.
The NBC2 First Alert Storm Team, making your plans weatherproof. This team is tracking, updating, and alerting you first. From sudden showers to dangerous storms, your plans are weatherproof. If you live in the Cape, the Country Club, or on the coast, your plans are weatherproof. Whether you plan ahead, make last-minute plans, or don't plan at all, you got it, weatherproof. So if you're planning a big day or a night out, make your plans weatherproof with the NBC2 First Alert Storm Team. Closed captioning on NBC2, sponsored by Rebath.
Bears Furniture has helped Floridians furnish their homes for over 75 years. Our customers are more than neighbors, they're family. And Bears is here to help you through this time, every step of the way. As our communities look to rebuild, just know that when you're ready, we're here for you. We know firsthand what makes times like these so difficult, and sometimes one helping hand can make all the difference. We're in this together, and together we can make a difference. There's no place like Bears.
Since Colorado legalized weed, I smell it everywhere. I'm at the park with my kids, and they're like, Mommy, what's that smell?
It smells like a dead skunk. Just gross. I need to eat my lunch.
I was fine with legalizing weed. No problem.
I voted for it, but it ruined Colorado.
California's going to...
Wouldn't have voted for it.
Don't turn into California.
Don't become Colorado.
Vote no on Amendment 3.
The NBC2 View Network, sponsored by Cape Coral Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Well, as we know, flooded areas after a hurricane, well, they're no joke. After a hurricane, you might see extra alligators in flooded areas. Most of them find their way back on their own. So remember, the best way people can stay safe and help wildlife under storm conditions are to be on alert and give them some space. If you're concerned that an alligator poses a threat to people, pets, or property, you could call the FWC Nuisance Alligator Hotline with the number that... Let's see, we're going to put that on the screen. We do have that number on our website, nbc-2.com. Lauren?
I'm tracking a big pattern change this week. Much calmer and drier weather. With a cold front just around the corner, I'll show you when you'll notice that big drop in humidity.
It's an unimaginable trauma. A woman or girl is raped and gets pregnant. Then she's forced to have her attacker's baby. That's now the law in Florida, an extreme abortion ban with no real exception for rape. No matter where you stand on abortion, that goes too far. Government has no right putting anyone through that. Government has no right making that decision for you. Voting yes on 4 protects women and girls and stops government's cruel abortion ban.
class-leading safety features at every turn. A Hyundai Tucson.
Lease a Tucson for $199 a month or get 1.99% APR for 60 months or up to $1,250 bonus cash. See your dealer about Hurricane Relief Cash.
The badge. It's more than a symbol. It's a promise. To stand watch when others sleep and face danger when others flee. Sheriff Carmine Marcino kept that promise. Safeguarding our streets, protecting the innocent, rescuing abused animals, and giving his best when nature gave us its worst. That is his promise. This is his badge. Carmine Marcino, our sheriff.
If the recent storms have left you struggling with water-damaged appliances, Good Deals is here to help you recover as fast as possible. Our warehouses are fully stocked and we're getting truckloads of new deliveries every day. What's more, owners Jay and Sandy Russo are offering special pricing to those affected, which means right now, Good Deal's guaranteed lowest prices are even lower. In most cases, we can deliver next day. And as always, free delivery and free haul away of your old appliances. For more, visit GoodDealsAppliances.com.
The NBC2 First Alert Live Doppler radar is sweeping clear, and overnight tonight you're going to start to notice by tomorrow morning some of this low-level moisture returning to the forecast. So slightly higher humidity after a couple nice, cooler and less humid days the past few days. But into tonight, overnight lows will be down into the low 70s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And heading into tomorrow, temperature is bouncing right back to almost 90 degrees. So feeling incredibly warm again on Sunday. We are looking at a slightly higher humidity, and that will trigger some of these pop-up afternoon showers. For the first half of Sunday, starting off mostly dry, but a few pop-up sprinkles and showers heading into the mid-morning and then into the afternoon, especially farther south. Looking at those of you in Collier County, Immokalee, Naples, down through Marco. Be on the lookout for a few spotty downpours. I don't expect a lot of thunderstorm activity, and then lingering farther to the north heading into tomorrow night. So we are looking at overall coverage at about 30%, so by no means will it be a washout. Over the next 3 days, overall rainfall totals not looking impressive, less than about 1/10 of an inch, and this is still good news because we are transitioning into the dry season, and many areas still have lots of standing water. So fortunately, we are looking at our first real cold front of the season heading into the midweek. We're going to look at dew points in the 70s out ahead of this, and then really ushering in a drier air mass by Wednesday. Dew points falling, and we will actually see dew points down into the 50s. So by Thursday morning, feeling fantastic, and it won't last for too long. So enjoy a few days by the midweek of really low humidity and slightly cooler conditions. As far as the tropics go, taking you far out into the eastern Atlantic basin, that's the only area of interest out there right now. And chances for development have actually decreased because this disturbance is working westward into a more hostile environment. Chances down to only about 20% over the next 7 days. The next name on the list would be Nadine, and now thanks to Milton, we are officially running above average for the Atlantic hurricane season. Nadine, the next name, not seeing signs that we'll see that anytime soon, though. Over the next 7 days, we are looking at a very dry pattern. We will still have low rain chances most days, especially into tomorrow, but overall, many days this week, you will stay dry. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s for the next few days, but then here comes that front by Wednesday. Look at highs into Thursday, low 80s. We will see mornings in the mid 60s, feeling very nice. The coolest mornings we've had since May later on this week. So enjoy it. It's looking like a beautiful forecast heading into next week as many of you continue to clean up from Hurricane Milton. That's your NBC2 First Alert forecast.
Well, Hurricane Milton left a big impact on the sports world in Florida. We'll get the latest coming up next. Plus, the Gators were back in action tonight, looking to beat Tennessee in back-to-back years. We'll see if they did it after the break.
NBC2's Jason Dunning, making your plans weatherproof. Nightly news with Lester Holt on NBC2. Sponsored by Cornerstone Builders.
Affordable style and luxury is yours when you choose Mercedes-Benz of Naples or Mercedes-Benz of Bonita Springs. For a limited time, lease the 2024 C300 sedan for just $384 a month and receive the first-class customer experience in both sales and service that so many Southwest Florida residents have already discovered. Choose from a great selection of 2024 C300s for as low as $384 a month when you lease from Mercedes-Benz of Naples or Mercedes-Benz of Bonita Springs.
It doesn't have to be a dream. With L Certified by Lexus.
This season at the Fall Collection Sales Event, get special offers on select L Certified models.
Exclusively at your Lexus dealer.
No. Son of a biscuits are done.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of water. Mother.
Flush, come on, please. Flush. Okay,
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's going on.
Plumbing and cooling nerds, smarter home solutions.
Wow, you guys really know your
Well, tonight was set to be a big one for the Gators. Florida coming off the best performance of the year last week, taking down UCF. And a year ago, Billy Napier picked up his best win as Florida's head coach against Tennessee. Well, they were trying to recapture that magic tonight in Knoxville. Florida was feeling pretty good. 2 straight wins and a bye week meant that the team hadn't lost in nearly a month. Well, this one came down to the wire. Florida made a late game comeback, tying it with just 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter and sent it into overtime. But it took just 5 plays for the Vols to reclaim the lead, bounce back from last year's loss to the Gators, and come out on top 23-17. Florida now moves to 3-3 on the season and will host Kentucky next week. But this week would have marked week 8 of the high school football season, but all games had to be moved because of Hurricane Milton. There were 24 matchups between all of our Southwest Florida schools, and we've been working to get the latest updates on makeup dates and cancellations. So here's what we've got so far. We'll have a few games on Monday. Aubrey Rogers at Lely, Barron Collier will be at Bonita Springs, and Naples will kick off at South Fort Myers. All those games are scheduled for 7:30. Thursday, we'll have Island Coast heading to Cypress Lake, and Friday night, in addition to our week 9 slate, we'll see Charlotte take on Mariner at 7 and Lemon Bay face Estero at 7:30. Then those games set for future dates. We've been confirming these with the schools and coaches. St. John Newman and FBA have said they're playing on October 29th, and Immokalee and Palmetto Ridge are scheduled for November 1st. Cancellations so far, ECS at Lakeland Christian and Glades Day at SFCA. We've got more. We're waiting on confirmations. But Port Charlotte coach Jordan Ingman texted me tonight. They're blessed to be talking about football that could have lost the season and a lot more. And with the landfall of Hurricane Milton north of our area, sports were definitely, in fact, impacted in the Tampa area this week. So let's check out the latest images we've got of the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium, Tropicana Field. The power of Milton left the roof in tatters. Located in St. Petersburg, the Trop sustained major damage with panels of the dome stadium shredded by 100+ mile-per-hour winds. Take a look inside Tropicana Field. It had been housing thousands of first responders. Fortunately, only a few security guards and staff members were there at the time that the roof was ripped off, and no one was hurt. Opening night for NHL was this past week. The Tampa Bay Lightning was still able to kick off the season on the road for Game 1. Fittingly, the Lightning were playing the Hurricanes in Carolina. However, Tampa Bay's home opener, scheduled for tonight, was postponed. The NHL is making a decision amid the ongoing recovery efforts in the Tampa Bay area from Hurricane Milton, and a makeup date will be announced at a later time. And the reigning champion Florida Panthers are back in action tonight. 3 games into the season, the Cats are now 1-2, falling tonight to the Buffalo Sabres 5-3. Panthers head coach Paul Maurice announced today that Captain Alexander Barkov is sidelined right now after sustaining an injury in Wednesday's loss to Ottawa. The captain is supposed to miss 2 to 3 weeks with a lower body injury. We'll be right back after the break.
We are so excited to announce that the Floormeisters are celebrating our 10-year anniversary. As a family-owned and operated business, we'd like to thank our customers who have supported us throughout the years. We couldn't have done it without you. We have been blessed with an incredible team that is happy to make your experience here feel like you are part of the family.
Real people. Real prices.
Real quality selection.
The Floormeisters. Just keep it real.
What makes life so different at Babcock Ranch? Is it the solar that powers our town? Is it our miles of trails and preserves? Our parks? Our schools? Our town? Or is it how everything here helps you have moments like this? And this? And this. Life's different at Babcock Ranch, and you'll feel it when you live it.
2022. Michigan voters approve a sweeping abortion amendment. Now, the lawyers who wrote that amendment use it to sue their state, to force taxpayers to fund abortions. The same lawyers wrote Amendment 4. And if it passes, the same thing will happen in Florida. Lawsuits to force taxpayers to fund abortions. It happened in Michigan. It will happen in Florida. Prevent taxpayer-funded abortions. Vote no on Amendment 4.
I want to say we were just talking about the weather, and Lauren was saying, oh, this week's going to be really nice. I was like, ooh, warm, but you're like, no, kind of chillier in the mornings. I was like, I don't think that sounds good.
Excited.
You're excited.
Well, it's Florida
chilly.
All right. So, yeah, let's take another look at the 7 days. So heading into tomorrow, we're actually going to see some isolated showers into the afternoon, but then a cold front coming through by the midweek. You guys, typically we don't see our first real cold front of the season until Halloween, but we still see good consensus that this will drop our temperatures down to the low 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. Those mornings down into the mid 60s Thursday morning, but the big difference will be that big drop in humidity. So enjoy it. It won't last for too long.
I'm not leaving the house in the morning. Well, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Good night.